So today we're doing the job of actually replacing the slide out gasket in the Chinook. And I didn't bother refilming pulling the slide out. I have another video if you want to see how to get the slide removed from the coach. You can watch my other video on that. We're just going to start with the gasket. We're pulling these pieces of trim out here, and then you got to get something like a pick or something and get kind of underneath, because this gasket kind of latches in there. And then you pull it up, disconnect your air hose from down here, pull it through the hole, and then we're just pulling this trim out. And you got to get a little screwdriver or something to get started under this trim. Pull it out, and it's a little tight, and then once you get it out, then you can pull the gasket with it. This is a good idea to check your carpet here since you got the slide removed. Make sure that all clean and in good shape. The biggest thing with this job, from what I can tell, is cleaning and prep work. Make sure you do a good job of that. Alrighty, just like that. That's one side. Coming out. That's all the trim. Now the gasket comes out. Once you get the gasket started, it comes out real easy. Just like that. All the way down. Just like that. So now, old gasket is completely removed. Now we're going to work on cleaning, removing this old adhesive tape, putting our new adhesive tape, and getting this thing prepped. I actually think maybe the new adhesive tape, yeah, this has to come off, pretty certain. We'll look at the instructions. HWH did send instructions with the new gasket, so we'll do it exactly the way that they said to do it. The first part of the cleaning process, we're going to get this sticky tape on here off as clean as we can get it. So you don't want to mess up the metal or scratch it up. You probably don't want to take like a grinder or anything that's going to mess up this aluminum track. You want to use plastic scrapers and things like that to get this off of here, and then we'll clean it with the acetone. So let me get this off of here and we'll see what it looks like. It's coming off pretty good. It's leaving a little bit behind that we'll have to clean off, but overall just peeling off. Let's do that all the way around. We got this track all cleaned up. See how I got all the sticky off from HWH. Say to clean it with acetone. So I got my acetone over there and I cleaned the whole surface, and what that does is make sure that there's no oil on there that would keep the sticky tape from sticking to this. So we do have a roll of adhesive that we have to put on here to stick the gasket down. Now that the track is all clean, the next thing we want to do is install the tape. HWH sends you this 3M tape with the new gasket, and we're going to lay it in here. Now I'm going to probably start like over here, and then later on we'll have to punch that hole out. I'm going to leave the cover on the tape. I'm just going to unroll it and lay it out. We'll come back and pull this backside off as we lay the gasket in. So let's get that done real quick. There's our 3M tape in place with the backing still on it. They send you a pretty big roll of this stuff. You really don't need all of that, but it's probably just a standard roll for big slide outs and stuff. So just make sure that's stuck down real good. We'll move on to the next step. So here's the gasket. The next thing it wants you to do is clean. This is the front. This is the back. I want you to clean right here where it's going to be in contact with that 3M. I want you to clean it with acetone, and I want you to stay away from the seam. So I'm assuming that's why they have this zip tied on here, so that you can stay back that far from the seam, I guess. So we're gonna wipe that down. It says to use a clean rag, soak it with acetone, and go one direction all the way around the gasket, and don't over clean it. That's what the instructions say. So we'll get that done real quick. Next thing it wants to do is wants us to start laying the gasket. I'm gonna cut this plate off here. I wouldn't recommend using a knife. You don't want to tear up the gasket. Okay, so we're gonna run the hose through this hole, and it wants us to pull back some of this tape and stick the gasket down there. It says when you pull this back, don't cut it, just leave it there. Here shortly I'll explain why you have to leave the back side on the 3M tape until you're completely finished, but you do have to pull it back just a little bit in both directions whenever you start right here at the hole that the air hose goes through. I was doing this by myself, and so it became really hard to put this gasket in place and film at the same time, so I'm just putting these instructions in here. So the way this works is you have to leave the back side on the 3M tape, with the exception of about a foot on each side of the hole that the air hose goes through, which will be your starting point, and start putting the gasket in place. So, and the reason that you leave that background there is to keep the gasket from sticking to the 3M tape. And you can cut some little 1-inch pieces of the old retainer ring and use them to kind of keep the gasket in place as you go along. But the reason you do this is so that it's spaced correctly. If you don't, and you just start sticking the gasket down, you'll get to the last corner and you'll either have too much gasket or not enough gasket. So you want to leave that backer on the tape, put the gasket in place, and that way you can work it around and space it out. And then when you're done, pull it out a little bit and pull the backer off the 3M tape and work your way around, just lifting it up enough to pull the backer off and then sticking it back down. And if you get some help, it would really be good. And just make sure you read these instructions and understand everything before you proceed. Now we're going to start putting this trim in, the new trim. We want to use a rubber hammer and a block. Put the block on the edge of the trim, you hit the block and tap it in. You don't want to do anything to risk damaging the gasket. of the instructions, you can use a soapy water blend to help you get this track piece in here, so I'm going to do that because it's pretty hard to get in there even with the hammer. So we're going to soap it up just a little bit. You just don't want to get this on the sticky part. Put it on a rag and wipe it on or something. And here's the finished product. Seals there. I've got it inflated to 5 psi. That's what it says to do. Not to exceed 5 psi with the slide rim not in. But you're looking for buckling in the corners, which I'm not really seeing anything that looks bad. So again, I won't bother filming putting the slide out back in. You can watch my other video for that. But that's the slide out seal job, and of course you connect it down there where you disconnected the other one. Put that tape down, but not pull the back off of it. Lay the slide gasket out. Cut the old retainer to make some little 1-inch pieces, and then use it to kind of hold it in place like they tell you. So there you go. There's the slide out gasket install. Thanks.